I think, so therefore I don't feel. This is an EFT tapping for those that may experience feelings that they rationalize through thought about how these things are to be and not how they are feeling within our being. So let's do an EFT tapping on this. So taking full responsibility for our own well-being and repeating after me. And let's go with that flow. And let's begin to tap. If you notice me sweat, it's very humid. I'm feeling that. Even though how I think may be separate to how I feel. Because how I feel about things, I have many rational thoughts about how things are understandable, but not understandable, about how I'm feeling inside. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though I think, so therefore I don't feel. And how I feel about things, I may have become a bit detached from, or have a certain mindset that I'm good in the face of danger. I'm calm in a state of a crisis. And there are some feelings that may linger on that I try to understand, but they're very strong emotions. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though my rational mind might be fighting a very hurt body, and this hurt body might be sending some signals to a mind that is detached from the experiences that happen to me and the feelings that carry through that, maybe even to today. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. All these feelings, all these thoughts about these feelings, all these rational thoughts, all these experiences that I've gone through, that I've had to experience through my sensory state, through my sensory body. My body sends me signals that I try to understand sometimes. And like a rational mind does, it tries to rationalize these feelings, tries to understand them, tries to understand why they're feeling that way. And maybe I'll deal with these feelings tomorrow. Or maybe these feelings are undetached with my rational mind, because I'm a rational person, dealing with crises in my life in the best way that I know how, in the best way that I can predict, because there are people around me with very predictable behaviors, with very upsetting behaviors that cause a lot of crises that I have to manage, and I have to understand, and I have to deal with. And I kind of feel like a firefighter. They're trained to do a role, a certain role that requires danger. And they go into an environment surrounded by danger. And they do their role, they perform their tasks, and when they put out the fire, they can feel safe. And I get to know these fires, these predictable fires. And I've been dealing with a lot of crises, putting out fires in my environment, always putting out these fires. And it's understandable, because these people like to light fires around me. And I've become very good at managing that. And I can understand their behaviors. I might even be able to class some of their behaviors so that I can understand how they behave. And that's understandable for the hurt that they cause me, because I don't get out of these fires unscathed. I get a little bit burnt in the process. And I carry these scars, these wounds, these very understandable wounds. Because growing up, that was my role, to put out these fires, to unacknowledge my hurt, to detach from that hurt, and to not feel my feelings. Because if I feel my feelings, then I'm not in the role of a firefighter, putting out other people's fires that they might be starting. And I get burnt every day. And I'm carrying these scars, this inflammation within me, all this stress, all this cortisol. Is it good to be in a crisis? It might be good to manage a crisis, but is it good to live in a crisis? Because I might get burnt, I might get stressed for when that person comes home, for when a certain behavior goes in a certain way, or I need to put on my fireman outfit and go put out that fire and return home burnt. But that's understandable. I can detach from these feelings. I can rationalize these feelings. I can avoid some of these feelings, because these feelings really hurt. There's a lot of tender spots on my body that I might be carrying. Certain stiffness within my body that tense up when I hear the fire bell go, and I know that I have to attend to this person's behavior and deny my own, to be in service of them and not in service of my own. Because if I'm in service of my own, I can't attend to someone else's feelings. I can't be there to save the day in order to save myself. And all this fire, all this stress, it's carrying without my body, carrying through my body, carrying into my thoughts, to be on the ready, to be on the reaction, to think understandably why these people are doing these things, and how my emotions are understandably reacting to these people's emotions. And I can rationalize these thoughts all that I like. I can put them in their little boxes, label them, but they tend to spill out sometimes and create a mess throughout my life. And all this understanding, am I standing on my feelings? Are they underneath the surface of my body, sending these signals to my mind that there's a fire alarm going? And is this fine for me? Or is it fine for the other person? Am I attending to their needs whilst avoiding my own? All these feelings in my body, all these feelings I've disconnected from in order to be on the ready, to be on guard, to understand the other and lose contact of myself, to disconnect from my feelings and from my emotions. My duty and my role was there for others, and it might have been shamed if I was there for myself. What if a firefighter took a break and attended to their own needs, to their own mental well-being, to their own emotional well-being, attended to the physical wounds they sustained in their job? And do I want to be a firefighter for the rest of my life, dealing with the stress of all these emotions of others, whilst I'm burnt within? And I might feel burnt out, worn down, standing over these rational feelings that are protecting me from a wealth of feelings, crying out for help. My own needs, my own emotional needs, my own emotional feelings, attending to them, saving myself first. And in saving myself first, I can choose whether I want to save others. I can choose what is my boundaries, whether I give my time and energy to others, or do I restore my own and connect to these feelings that were denied, these feelings that I had to avoid, these feelings that are mine and are mine to connect to. I'm connecting to my feelings, feeling into my emotions, knowing that these experiences that I had to deal with, I still had to feel through and feel after and let go of and grieve that part of myself that had to do something that wasn't myself to actually do, wasn't my shoes to fulfill, and wasn't my uniform to put on. I'm open to dropping my armor that has protected me from these emotions, all these rational thoughts, all these understandable thoughts, all these excusable thoughts, all these avoidable thoughts from my emotions, from myself, from feeling into myself, from being for myself, in myself. I'm allowed to have my emotions. I'm allowed to have my feelings. I'm allowed to know my environment and choose how to interact with it. I'm allowed the cooling sensation of tears to escape and the emptiness to fulfill of what I was carrying, of all this hurt. I'm cleansing my body of these hurts, of all these justifications, of all these criticisms that I carried within my mind that excuse this behavior of this other person that became my own thoughts and beliefs. But I'm here for myself now, and I shall not excuse myself. I shall start to accept myself of all my thoughts and emotions and of all my feelings. For my experiences are valid, and I'm here for my valid experiences. I'm allowed to feel into these experiences. I'm allowed to let these experiences lessen. I'm allowed this grief to heal. I'm tending to my wounds and taking care of myself in this effort of self-care as I process these feelings in mind, body, and spirit. And taking a full breath in and out. So yes, and yes, I am quite sweaty at the moment. It is very humid in Brisbane. And I'm feeling it. So yeah, sometimes when we have very strong emotions, and even I'm one to be like this sort of thing, I can rationalize quite situations, why people are doing things, but sometimes rationalizing why someone is doing it doesn't excuse, one, why they're doing it, and also doesn't excuse the feelings that I experience from that. It's like someone yelling at you and you being quite rational why they're yelling at you, but you're still feeling the yelling sort of thing. So, and if we don't allow that process to heal sort of thing, we start to carry that with us, trauma stores in the body. So allowing our rational mind to sometimes drop its guard and to feel into these emotions can actually create more of a holistic feeling of ourselves, to know all of ourselves, rather than the rational mind that puts us in service of someone else, that puts us in danger. So I'm Dion from Eflowtion Support Services. I offer EFT tapping one-on-one online, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'll grab a water, rehydrate, and Bye for now.